Welcome friends. Why Indian government has asked public sector banks to withdraw the funds in their Nostro accounts? Nostro accounts are accounts held by Indian banks overseas with another bank in the currency of that country. These accounts are maintained for facilitating trade payments and other foreign exchange transactions. A couple of days back, Reuters, the news agency, has reported, quoting some reliable sources in the finance ministry and also in certain state-owned banks, that the government has sent a guidance to the banks to be on high vigil with the funds in their Nostro accounts in several jurisdictions or countries. What's the reason for this unprecedented and unheard of development? This is because the government is afraid that KN Energy PLC, a UK company, may attempt to seize the funds held by the state-owned banks in their Nostro accounts. KN, the Scotland-based firm, has been recently awarded an amount of $1.2 billion by an international tribunal in a long-drawn tax dispute with India. The government now has apprehension that funds held by the public sector banks in various countries may be seized by KN in satisfaction of the award. KN had previously stated that it can seize Indian assets abroad if it is not paid the $1.2 billion plus interest and cost that the International Arbitration Panel had awarded to them against levy of retrospective taxes by the Indian government. Cash of Indian banks lying in nations such as US and the UK are said to be easy target for seizing and enforcing the arbitration award. It is to guard against such cash being taken over, the Finance Ministry is reported to have asked PSBs, that is public sector banks, to be extra vigilant and immediately report back any attempt KN may make to legally attach the deposits. Now let's see the background of the case. KN, the Scottish firm, had invested in the oil and gas sector in India in 1994, and a decade later it made a huge oil discovery in Rajasthan. In 2006, it listed its Indian assets on the Bombay Stock Exchange. 5 years after that, the government passed a retroactive tax law and billed KN rupees 10,247 crore plus interest and penalty for the reorganization tied to the flotation. The government then expropriated and liquidated KN's remaining shares in the Indian entity, seized dividends and withheld tax refunds to recover a part of the demand. KN challenged the move before an arbitration tribunal in The Hague, which in December awarded it $1.2 billion, which is over 8,800 crore in Indian rupees, plus costs and interest, which totals $1.725 billion, which is almost equal to rupees 12,600 crore as of December 2020. The ruling of the arbitration panel termed the retroactive tax demand as strongly delivered and asked the Indian government to return the value of shares expropriated and liquidated, tax refunds withheld and dividends seized by them. The company has been in talks with the government since then to get the government to pay the award, but the talks have not been fetching any positive results. The government had made an offer for paying 1/4 of the award, which was rejected by the company. KN is of the opinion that the unanimous ruling of the tribunal was enforceable against Indian-owned assets in over 160 countries that have signed and ratified the 1958 New York Convention on the Recognition and Enforcement of Foreign Arbitral Awards. The company has also hired asset tracing firms to investigate the overseas assets that could be seized to recover the amount due. It also has taken steps to have the arbitration award recognized in 9 major jurisdictions such as the US, UK, France, the Netherlands, Singapore and Canada's Quebec province, where Indian sovereign assets have been identified. So this is the reason why the Indian government has taken the issue very seriously and advised the public sector banks to be extra vigilant against any seizure move by KN. The government has asked the banks to report any such attempt by the company to the government immediately so that legal steps can be taken to thwart the attempts. A nodal officer has been appointed to deal with the subject in the Finance Ministry for escalating the matter to the competent authorities for the further action as per records. But at the same time, the government has also assured the banks that the guidances now issued by them has been done out of abundant caution, and funds with banks are not of Government of India but of the public. but still the banks have been asked to be vigilant in this respect. Thank you.